sippers. Hey, tea sippers. Hey, 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 hey. Or do I need to enroll? Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get up out of here. Okay. Hey, tea sippers, let's just kind of jump right on in, cause listen, uh, Trump, I mean, a lot of stuff in court and getting thrown out. Did I read somewhere that we don't have money to pay the military to be having it? Why they on shutdown? Hey, Janet, what you mean we don't have enough money to pay? Wait, what? What the fuck? You mean we don't have enough money? The U.S. don't have enough money to pay our military? I know you lying. I know you are lying to me. And over the weekend, didn't he just send 20 mil? Then I heard it was supposed to be 20, then it was 40. Now they may not be able to bail out Argentina. Now you need to bail us out because y'all doing all this stealing. Y'all been over stealing. And did he pass out? Did he pass out? Let's go. And oh, didn't I tell y'all that it was about time that somebody need to tell Diddy that he was gonna have to register? Didn't I didn't I tell y'all? Diddy, can't you see? You gonna have to register for me. Didn't I tell y'all? Trump has congested heart. I said that too with them feet and stuff, and they were saying veins, and I was like, nah, boo boo. He has congested heart failure. I said that when they was first talking about look at his feet and his hands, and he had on that Tammy Faye Baker makeup and shit on his hands. And then when it looked like somebody had beat him up over the weekend with them puffy eyes, he was retaining water. Yeah. And I said, oh, what is going on with them? It sure look like somebody put hand, feet, and toes. I was trying to be nice. Yeah. Yeah. And he been taking sick, and he been looking crazy, and then that's why that mouth twist. So for him to be eating Burger King, ain't Burger King a Whopper a day, uh, now that's an apple a day. He ain't been eating apples. He been eating Whoppers every day. Yeah. Go get me a Whopper. And now we finding out that some of that stuff, now they said McDonald's had humans in it. I meant to research the human consumption. I mean, it's just so much. Anyway, I don't want to stay on that. Okay. All right. But I need for y'all to get the likes up. I didn't press the issue on the last go around, but I'm dang sure gonna press the issue this time. Support the platform. Like, share, subscribe, join the membership. We love Cash App, super stickers, jewels. Come on. But let's go, because I got a lot. And thank you, Janet. You always support. Thank you. You and Naturally New Orleans and my girl Vicky always support the platform. So I greatly appreciate you. Absolutely. Let's get to it, because I'm going to really try to find that guy. Yeah, I don't be... Thank you, Precious. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Argentry. Hey, ain't I always hit the like button, even if I can't say thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Let's see what's going on, and then we can get on down to Doodle Diddy and go to jail. Uh, uh, I told y'all that judge was pissed. I knew he was gonna have to register as a sex offender, but I got a message saying for life. He has to register for life. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. I knew it. Y'all could think that man act it ain't that much if you want to. Just like I said, that judge ain't crazy. He know how he set them guidelines up. He set up the steps and the procedure. He made it simply easy for them. And they intentionally threw that case on their RICO charges. He ain't escaping. He may escape life in prison, but he will have to register for life. Hey, Reflections with Kimberly. Thank you. She's a supporter too. Thank you. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for everybody who try to show AunTeaFee some love and appreciation to help keep me from coming back even when I say I'm not. Help me stay a little longer in the day even when I say I'm not. So thank y'all. I just want y'all to know I do it for y'all. I just do not want any of my tea sippers or guests to be misled. I'm no. I'm a new nanny. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations, Nana. What you have? Oh, you got a new little poo-poo. Congratulations. My. Oh, how sweet. Yay, we got to protect our, for the ones who are old, we've lived a grandson. Oh, bless you. Well, we definitely got to stay alert. I saw something say we have to get in a sober mind because they are pulling a whole bunch of tricks. Let's go. Let's hear what he's saying. Oh, and again, I told y'all they need to hear. Oh, yeah, and baby, that corn that they got over there thinking he the Messiah, that took us, Janet, that almost took us out today, didn't it? Y'all, I wasn't laughing earlier. I wasn't laughing at all. I was serious than a heart attack, baby. Or that heart attack he having right about now. Let's go. He all on a corn over there. They think he the Messiah. They unaliving folk and taking the blood and taking the bodies to the butcher so they can ground it up and ship them patties over to McDonald's and other places. And yeah, come on, y'all. But that's okay. Hopefully things are in place and God is showing up. Come on, let's go.
Neck, or that his hair has somehow gotten worse, or freaking out about the fact that it's very obvious that there is pudding pouring out of his brain. Donald Trump can't complete a real sentence. He's constantly slurring, and his
Kimberly, we gonna have to talk to that neck like we talking to the baby. Ticker. I bet you that neck look like a turkey. Thanksgiving is around the corner. That thing is just moving. He loves McDonald's, baby. Do I need to play that over again from earlier today? Where they said how they sacrifice and how they stealing kids, draining the blood for Passover to mix with their Passover, and then they take the bodies to the slaughterhouse to be grounded up. And he didn't name all the restaurants, but he dang sure said they don't have turkey burgers at McDonald's. Oh, you talking about the neck. I'm talking about that loving at McDonald's. I don't even want the fries no more. I don't want nothing out of there. Ooh, that's good. Lord, what's that right there? Hey, Cynthia. That neck saying blue, 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 blue. Blue, 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 blue. Baby, I bet you his grandbabies is playing with that neck as it jiggle. Woo! Let's go. Blue, 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 blue. Look at that hair. Look at that hair up there. He don't have his toupee on, y'all. Look at that. Baby. Or his new medicine. That new medicine they have him on taking that hair out. It's thin as the wind, ain't it? Now, it's gone with the wind.
Rants and rambles make less sense than ever.
Look at that hair.
And it's what we saw in the Oval Office today. And point, complaining that we can see his turkey neck or that his hair has somehow gotten worse, or freaking out about the fact that it's very obvious that there is pudding pouring out of his brain. Donald Trump can't complete a real sentence. He's constantly slurring, and his rants and
look at that neck. I don't get off his neck.
That was even possible, and it's what we saw in the
Jack, get off his neck.
And why Donald Trump's handlers had to jump in and try to save him as he was unable to speak sentences.
Yeah, I think the fries, they talk about the oil that they use, and also I think that those what's his name, Bill Gates fries that he spray and they never go, they don't never spoil. Oh yeah, thank you. Did you, Kimberly? Why you looking? Can I toot my horn a little bit? It's because of y'all. I do it for y'all. Thank you. But look at them views. Can you tell me how many views I got? Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I greatly appreciate it. Only if the money matched. But anyway, I'm going to count it all joy. I just don't want none of my tea sippers to be misled. We ain't going to always get it perfectly, but we going to get it. We going to get it. They ain't going to leave us behind. No.
That actually meant anything. And
playing in our face. You a lie.
And his rants and rambles make less sense than ever, if that was even possible. And it's what we saw in the Oval Office today, and why Donald Trump's handlers had to jump in and try to save him. He was unable to speak sentences that actually meant anything. And we're going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel,
you see that?
Hit that subscribe button.
I'm not the only person. So when people come over here asking me why you asking for, I'm not the only person that asked for a like. You see that? I'm 47 seconds in, and what is he asking for? What is he asking? Huh? So when them folk come over here saying,
he was unable to speak sentences,
whatever, that's why I tell them to shut up and get out.
But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into why Donald Trump had to step in, had to try to save him, had to try to boost his ego, I want to start with the nonsensical lie that he started this press briefing with. And it was about black women in MAGA hats in Chicago.
And the people of Chicago are walking around with MAGA hats. You have women, beautiful black women, walking around with MAGA hats.
Hey,
I used to pay $162 every month for my car insurance. Now, check out how much I'm paying.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell y'all what I'm eating.
Please let the president in, and we don't care how he does it. They're not interested in National Guard or
he trying to get another term, y'all.
Marines, bring in the Marines. They just want the crime to stop, and more so because of the success that we had in D.C. I think if we didn't have that success, nobody would even believe it.
I don't think Donald Trump has ever said anything that so didn't happen more than that. They love me. You notice how all the stories are always like, the people came up and they quietly said it, but they're coming up to us in secret.
Nobody ever tells him he a piece of shit.
Fantastic. It reminds me when Don Jr. was like really podcasting, and every episode would open up with like people
in the airport
coming up to him or on the street
with turkey
and
necks,
saying how wonderful he was. You hear this line a lot from MAGA. Nancy Mace does it as well. She's like, I was in this private setting, which you've never heard of, at a place that doesn't exist, but don't fact check me on this. And people came up and said that they just loved me so much because I'm so fantastic. But what's not so
He ain't no
fantastic is
POS. He
these
want
cuts
us
that
to be
Donald Trump is
prisoners of
bragging
war.
about. I'm sure he'll say, we all love those, but this one in particular
He was trying to get something approved where he can, I didn't get a chance to finish it all, where he can deport for any reason, I think. Let me go back and double check that. It has something to do with deporting US citizens at his discretion.
has some extra
I've been
sort
trying
of
to tell
horrible
y'all.
meaning behind it.
They don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs.
Look at all that gold shit.
But that were negotiated in, but we.
Y'all see all that? He looked like he one of them people that he had taken off in Egypt. Let me Qatar people. Look at all that gold stuff. Let me back it up so y'all can see it. It look it looked like grandma's house back in the 60s and the 70s. But that's that gold he getting from them people that he been making deals with, that they talk about all that gold.
They don't talk about this. You know, we're getting rid of programs that we didn't like, but that were negotiated in, but we didn't like. We're terminating those programs, and they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people, and it's
segregation,
billions of dollars. We're getting rid of a lot of things that we never wanted because of the fact that
look
they
at
made
them
this
eyes.
stupid move. And that.
So this is nothing new, but it's different this time with recent news out of Alaska. Donald Trump is saying that he's cutting the Democrat employees, the woke programs, but one of those supposed DEI programs was $20 million in Alaska, a grant to stop flooding. Flooding that happened in the very town
they don't care. So they just openly discriminating. Now they can discriminate.
Is struggling to rebuild. Why? Because Donald Trump thought that $20 million grant to prevent the very disaster that happened was woke and for DEI. And while Donald Trump is sending not just 20, but $40 billion to Argentina and countless wasted billions to Israel, the America First policy is hurting real Americans. But Donald Trump doesn't care. Donald Trump just wants to do what Donald Trump wants. And right now, that's attack his opponents.
After Don in particular, I'll never forget Adam Shifty Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you, totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear. And Nancy Pelosi
I thought it didn't happen.
Impeach me based on the conversation that was.
I thought you said it didn't happen. Totally didn't happen. So how can they? Wait a minute. How could it be recorded if it didn't happen? Did you hear yourself? What did he just say? Didn't he say about a conversation that didn't happen, and when he found out it was recorded? So that's what happened to you. You denied it. And when you found out it was recorded, you freaked out. Okay.
Schiff, a total crooked guy, lying in Congress, making up a phone conversation that I have with you, totally made up. Then when he heard it was taped, he wanted to disappear.
How was it taped?
Nancy Pelosi went crazy because they wanted to impeach me based on the conversation that was made up. When they heard the tape, everybody, I won it unanimously in the Republican Party. I got every single vote, something that never happens. And I beat it. But think of it, they want to put my son in jail for something that they made up. So they know they made it up. And they say he will serve the rest of his life in prison. These are sick, bad people. And don't tell me about us going after them. If anything, we've been very, very soft. I wouldn't be that soft, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Let's go.
So Trump clearly has spun himself up into a tizzy in this press conference. He's losing his mind. He's angry. He's lashing out. He's justifying every attack that he's ever launched by saying it was their fault and I'm right and I'm fantastic, which is the same attitude that he brings to talking about the supposed wars that he's solved. Well, one of them Clearly, Donald Trump doesn't understand because he couldn't speak properly about Pakistan and India because he thought a different country was involved.
As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. And we were making a good deal, and then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations, are you guys going to go to war? 2 nuclear powers. We are thinking about, I said, here's the deal. You go to war, I'm going to put a 200% tariff. I'm going to stop you from doing any business in the United States. I said it to both of them. Within 24 hours, the war ended. That would have been a nuclear war. And again, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who was here too.
This is a complete collapse of Donald Trump's brain before our very eyes. What conflict in the past couple of months between Pakistan and Iran is he talking about? Trump can't speak about the wars he's solved, yet he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. We saw this the other day when the Middle East Peace Summit went to Egypt and Donald Trump decided that he was going to invite Bibi Netanyahu, which then led countless military and world leaders to say that they wouldn't go if his presence was there. Obviously, Netanyahu, much like Trump, is a war criminal and a disgusting figure, but Trump, who hasn't actually brokered peace in the Middle East because Israel has already violated this ceasefire, clearly doesn't understand the relationship between these world leaders. He doesn't understand the conflicts themselves. He doesn't understand the difference between India and Iran. And you're telling me this is a foreign policy genius? No, it's just not the case. But of course, to soothe his ego, as Trump was fucking up,
it was a temporary ceasefire.
Had to jump in, trying to save the dear leader. That said this.
Nutmeg.
Just one last thank you from the men and women at the FBI.
Said
Found a way to get these individuals paid during a government shutdown, our 1811 agents. So on behalf of the FBI, it's a great debt that we owe you, sir. They're now allowed to pay for their families. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank
for
you
our money, our money.
Shut down the government, and people are receiving their paychecks as usual at the FBI. We should throw you a parade and cost us $50 million again. Why is Donald Trump, the guy who shut down the government, getting credit for paying people during a government shutdown that shouldn't have happened and people would have been paid if it wasn't for Trump? This is the circle of the let's praise Trump and find
loaning other,
to say
he giving other people
Donald
money.
Trump causes the problem. Then Donald Trump blames the problem on Democrats. Then Donald Trump offers up some fake solution which doesn't really do anything. And we end with MAGA Republicans praising him as the greatest person who has ever lived. This is just not the case. Donald Trump has broken our government. Donald Trump wants to break our government.
Right.
And Donald Trump is going to continue to lie. The hypocrisy is always baked in.
Yep.
And some of the worst examples that we've seen recently is Donald Trump pretends that he cares about speech while he attacks the No Kings protest, came with a Politico article yesterday. Now,
they setting it up, though.
A little bit from this press conference, but what I'm about
they setting it up to say they
Antifa. The person that I'm going to call out, the fucking piece of shit that is our vice president, you're going to want to stick around for.
And they setting it up
after this Politico
so that they can ship people somewhere. Because he don't try to make anybody who protests against him Antifa. Hold on. So y'all better be careful. Y'all know our freedom is on the line. The people have permission to do what they want to do to us. I saw something today in New York and I was like, lady, we can't keep acting like we got our same rights because he's playing with our rights. And that's why a lot of people don't know it, and they think that they are protected by the Constitution of the United States. And we already see he's not following that. Do not take the bait. I'm going to have to show y'all what I'm talking about when I'm saying taking the bait. Let's finish this, though.
Of some of the highest level young Republican leaders in the country who work in congressional offices, who get awards for member of Congress. There's an article that leaked from Politico. You might have saw this.
Yep.
About their I Love Hitler group chat. The disgusting slurs and racial epithets that they shared. And J.D. Vance responded to this group chat being leaked, responded from the calls from Republican leaders and Democratic leaders alike to
Hey,
have
Renee.
some fucking consequences for these kids. And what did J.D. Vance have to say?
But the reality is that kids do stupid things, especially young boys. They tell edgy, offensive jokes. Like, that's what kids do.
That's what y'all
and I
teaching
really
them.
don't want us to grow up in a country where a kid telling a stupid joke, telling a very offensive stupid joke, is cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say, enough of this BS.
But
So these kids, full context,
hold
we're
up.
talking.
But it was okay to not agree with some of Charlie Kirk's views, and it's okay for people to lose their job. Is that what you're telling me? But because these little MAGA kids, badass kids, that's gonna catch the wrong person and they gonna go to meet their maker, you don't think that we should be taking things so serious? Are you crazy?
Joke, telling a very offensive, stupid joke,
So be
is
offensive.
cause to ruin their lives. And at some point, we're all going to have to say, enough of this BS.
So these kids, full context, were talking about how much they loved Hitler in a group chat in which they were sharing racial epithets and being disgusting. And Vance's response is, oh, they're just kids. Stop it. Don't be mean. Oh, we want free speech. We're the free speech party. JD, you're such a fucking gross chud. That big, fat, ugly face of yours. I saw a comment the other day. It was like, Jack, you might be getting into like personal attacks too much. I want to limit the personal attacks for my commentary, but also, guys, look at these disgusting freaks. Are we seriously not going to call out how horrible they are inside and out? But I want to get to the substance. Also, JD Vance, you're disgusting looking. That one more. We get one more attack on JD Vance personally. JD Vance went to Munich in February, Munich Security Conference, and he lectured European leaders, wagging his little finger, saying, oh, you go after free speech. People can't share their ideas in Europe. Rah.
Never sue the person who hit
But
you
they
after a
had
car
a
accident.
hissy fit
I just
about
got
Charlie Kirk.
$100,000 for an accident I was in last month, and I did.
A complete lie, and then has come back to the U.S. and aided Donald Trump in the greatest crackdown on free speech and free expression that we have seen in the history of the United States. We are macing guys in blow-up frog costumes. We are disappearing college students for calling a genocide and saying, hey guys, do you know what would be cool? You know those billions that you send to Israel to blow up kids in Gaza? Instead of my tax dollars funding you buying Bibi Netanyahu, the war criminal, another tank, while Israel has free health care and free college tuition, maybe we could invest in the youth of America instead of killing the children of Gaza. That would be cool. And if you say that, J.D. Vance puts you in jail, right? That's what J.D. Vance does. And when there were kids in the White House talking about how much they hated Indians and they were doing it before it was cool, J.D. said, let's give them a second chance, right? That's how J.D. Vance feels. When you're a bigot, it's speech.
Right.
But when you are standing up for the basic humanity of people, you're a criminal to Donald
Standing
Trump?
up for
Shouldn't that
to
really
a
explain
bigot.
it all, JD, you piece of shit? And that's what's happening right now. And I want to talk about this, the No Kings protest, which I've been talking about a lot, and I've been talking about it in what I hope is like an aspirational and exciting frame, because I want us to feel good every once in a while, because damn it, we need it. But there's something more important happening with the No Kings protest right now that I want you to be wary of.
They're acting
and I don't want it
scared.
to discourage your participation, because it should. Donald Trump, Mike Johnson, all these Republicans, a very coordinated effort to say that this is a hate fest. These are paid protesters. This is Antifa. These people are the devil. They're violent. What they want to do is gin up a response from their little ICE armies, their little small militias of Proud Boys and Oath Keepers, and they want to try to intimidate us. That's what Donald Trump wants. The guys who have bitched at us nonstop, saying that me calling the Nazis, who profess to be Nazis, by the way, I think guys who say that they love Hitler, probably Nazis. And they're saying me pointing that out, making that clear, makes me a bigot and makes me dangerous. I don't even know what it makes me. But then they want to say that if you go out and say, hey, the founding ideal of this nation, the founding ideal is that we don't have kings, we don't have authoritarians, this is a democracy. What do? They call you the devil, and they want to intimidate you. We will not be
You're a
intimidated.
terrorist.
We will not face their intimidation. We are going to call it out. We will show up, and I am so excited to see y'all there. And if you haven't found a No Kings protest close to you, I got a link below. I did a community post today. I want you to check out where you can go out and protest, and I will see you all out there. I might get a frog costume. I'm fired up today. We should be fired up. I hope you're fired up. I hope we're all fired.
Okay. Let me move this over here. Jasmine Crockett. Can y'all see that?
I want y'all to take a guess. Okay, y'all probably not gonna guess it because it don't make sense. But if you think of the most ridiculous thing that they could do, okay, I know that that's really hard too because everything that they do is quite ridiculous. But literally,
She said this is new.
They being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for. A bunch of elected U.S. representatives. Tell y'all what they just voted for.
Do y'all hear that?
I want y'all to take a guess. Okay, y'all probably not gonna guess it because it don't make sense. But if you think of the most ridiculous thing that they could do,
The Congress
okay, I
just
know that that's really
remove
hard too because
your
everything that they do is quite
constitutional
ridiculous.
rights as a
But
citizen.
literally, they just voted. They being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for. A bunch of elected U.S. representatives. Tell y'all what they just voted
Y'all
for.
see that?
I want y'all to take a guess. Okay, y'all probably not gonna guess it because it don't make sense. But if you think of the most ridiculous thing that they could do, okay, I know that that's really hard too because everything that they do is quite ridiculous. But literally, they just voted. They being the other ones, not us, because we were all on the right side of history. They just voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted for. A bunch of elected U.S. representatives. Tell y'all what they just voted for.
I just cannot.
I want y'all to.
I never thought
Okay.
that I would
Y'all
see
probably
the
not gonna
day
guess it because it don't make sense. But if you think of the most
where
ridiculous
they,
things
even
they could do-
Congress,
Okay,
approved.
I know that that's really hard too because everything that they do is quite ridiculous. But literally, they just voted. They being the other ones, not us.
So this
not
ain't
us,
even
because
just
we
a
were all
black
on the right side of
thing. This
history.
is a
They
citizen's
just
thing.
voted to give Trump the ability, legally, to give him the ability to deport U.S. citizens. That is what they voted.
U.S. citizens. Now I know they're gonna try to make it seem like, I don't know. I'm not gonna even try to make excuses for them. I don't know what they're trying to do. But again, he has talked about is based on interpretation. So the way she put it, that could be black, white, green, orange, purple. That could be anything they want it to be. You understand? This is what I was talking about when I said we got to be careful.
What's going on here? I didn't call you. What's going on? What are you guys doing? Yes, he do. She just told he gotta come out the court. What's wrong with you guys? So back up and just give him space. You could do what you do, but just give him space too. I can't.
What are
you guys doing? What's wrong with you guys? Why? Tell him why.
This is the type of stuff we got to be careful of, y'all.
That's why y'all, you're a bunch of I wish you would. I wish you would. Yes, the stop it. Y'all a bunch of big don't tell me to calm down. We don't like none of you. You okay? No, how can I be okay? You okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? I look like I'm okay? Don't come up in my face here because I hit hard. With y'all. Try it. I wish you would. Try it. You try me and see what the fuck happens. Be angry. All of us angry out here. So don't think it's y'all alone. Get out of here. You who you telling get out of here? Why you telling me get out of here? You asked me a question and I'm answering you. Get out of here. Man. What's wrong with you? Oh, stupid.
We got to be careful of this, y'all. We have to be careful of this with Trump in office.
You want to hit me? Hit me. You ain't got me. Nobody's scared of you. No. Come. I got rings on you. So yeah, you gonna fight. That's why your kids them don't like you, and your wife is on you. That's why you gotta hide your face. My face ain't hidden. I'm American, you stupid. You can take me too high. I'm shouting and hold your friends. You know what to do? Tell them, no. You want me? With y'all, fuck you. Put that on the news. Let Trump see it.
Y'all, we gonna have to be careful of this. You understand? We are going to have to be careful with this because they want to trigger. They want to trigger. Okay? Okay, good people? And we think we got the law. He can't. We think we had a law. We gonna say they don't have a constitutional right. We just saw what Jasmine Crockett advised us, right? Okay. I just want us to be mindful and careful of what it's a setup. It's a setup. It's a setup. I told y'all it's a lot going on. Y'all thought I was playing. It's a lot going on, boo-boo. We got to be mindful. Okay, hold on. I think this may be some good news. Are y'all with me?
Time. We are in the final days. We are in the twilight of the Trump administration.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take some time over the next few days to have some conversations, some closing arguments, if you will, to talk about why Donald Trump and others must be held accountable for their crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Their crimes against the United States.
That's right. Let's
their
go.
Crimes against we the people. Their crimes against the immigrants who came here yearning to breathe free, only to be thrown in cages, have their children torn from their arms and thrown in other cages, families never to be reunited.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a series of conversations.
And on top of that, we're not even factoring in what their plans are with once you're over there with the torture for your blood for Passover and for them to make money off of your parts at the slaughterhouse. We're not even factoring none of that in. They ain't even crossed our minds. Right? We ain't have no idea how big these elites are in this human trafficking shit. Okay? Let's just keep it real. And you know, a lot of people don't even want to talk about that. But that's going on in real life, and we know it. And if it was not for these Epstein files that they are diligently trying to protect by any means necessary, we would not have realized that some of this human trafficking is all orchestrated through the Rockefellers, who owns Congress, who these high officials have deals with foreign countries, that it's a whole big old fraternity. Is this the real Illuminati? The higher ups to the higher ups that I mentioned years and years ago that I knew Trump was in, but I did not know all this other stuff. I will be the first to tell you I did not know how big it is. So we have to be double smart. We got to refuse. I don't care how tempting it is, until they get some real law in order and get this fool up out of here. We got to be smart, not just for ourselves, for our kids and loved ones, our family, friends, the people. Let's go. Again, it's not about left, right, front, back, black, white. It's about our duty as Christians. The favor. Whoo. I almost went there. Whew. It don't matter what they do, how they feel, what they say. The favor is unto God. It's not unto them. This ain't about you and them. This is about you and God. And all of those things in the Bible that we thought we had together, this will be the test. We won't know how much faith we really have, if we really have faith or not, until your faith is truly measured. Anybody can say they have faith until their faith has to be measured. Anybody can say, I follow the 10 Commandments. Until you are truly faced with it. I'm just saying, they want us not to turn the other cheek. They want to be able to put their knee on our necks. I'm just saying, don't take the bait.
A series of closing arguments. We're going to talk about why the evidence, even the evidence that's only publicly available before we even get into the grand jury to start investigating proper all of Donald Trump's crimes, even the available
You asked me, are my phones and devices plugged?
Your findings of guilt for Donald Trump and his co-conspirators, his criminal associates,
Kimberly,
his aiders and abettors, his accessories after the fact, his corrupt to the grand jury, to start investigating proper all of Donald Trump's crimes, even the available evidence will support your findings of guilt for Donald Trump and his co-conspirators, his criminal associates, his aiders and abettors, his accessories after the fact, his corrupt enablers. We're going to have a series of conversations in the coming days. We're going to start today by talking about why a presidential self-pardon will be struck down by the courts.
Woo!
Friends, why are we going to have this series of conversations? You know why.
We know why.
Because justice matters. Will be struck down by the courts in the coming days. We're going to start today by talking about why a presidential self-pardon will be struck down by the courts.
T-Sippers,
Friends, why are we going to have...
T-Sippers, didn't I just bring this up the other day? Yeah, day before yesterday when the panel, the group was talking about some changes of democracy, restoring and we threw out some stuff that they needed to add. It's amazing how J.D. Vance changed his time. Oh yeah. They need that. Yeah, and this was one of them, right? So why he's so quick to throw out? What did that guy say that he had? It slipped out of his mouth. Yeah, he didn't say pardon, but that's what it was. It was the pardon. So you throwing it out there. I was finna say yes to Reflections with Kimberly. Yeah. So he already knows that he can do whatever he want to do, and he gonna pardon himself. So strip him of it. So this time, when he brought up on charges, he can't pardon himself. And I like that disgusting look he has on his face. Yeah, to show we sick of you. And we finna clip you at your crippling knees. Yeah, since you can pardon yourself and you can continue to break laws and steal from the United States and give to these foreign countries treason. Yeah. We got you this time. Let's go. I hope it stick.
This series of conversations, you know why?
You know why.
Because justice matters.
So do. And you have to restore our faith. Because right now we don't have none. We losing it every day with our letting this man get away with this foolishness. Let's go.
Hey all.
Hey.
Glenn Kirshner here.
Hey Glenn.
So, if you tune into my daily videos,
sometimes
you see that we are in a slightly different environment. This is another corner of my office.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually sitting in that chair over there,
mm-hmm.
and I'm usually frustrated as all get out that I can't get up and walk around the office as I'm talking with you all. I spent 30 years in courtrooms, walking around the well of the court, talking to the jurors, talking to the judge, examining witnesses. And I will tell you, being stuck in that chair when I'm ordinarily recording my videos drives me a little crazy. So I will look forward to hearing from you all, your comments about whether
I like you
this
standing.
format, you don't like it so much.
I like
you want
it.
my butt back in the chair?
Mm-mm.
I'll get back in the chair.
I like you.
But what I want to do is start to talk with you all and deliver a series of short closing arguments on a number of important issues of the day regarding Donald Trump's criminal liability
Let's go.
for so many of the crimes that we have endured here in America over the past 4 years. Because it's time for accountability. It's time for justice. And we're going to start today by talking about a presidential self-pardon. You've heard me talk about this in earlier videos. I want to try to pull it all together in just a few minutes to try to highlight why it is that after Donald Trump pardons himself, and we can all see it coming,
Mm-hmm.
the courts must and will strike it down as being unlawful, unconstitutional.
Yay.
Let's talk about why that is. First of all, let's start with the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel memo that was published back in 1974. Here's what it said. Of course, we were in the throes of Watergate at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was worried that
Now
among
we're
other
in
things,
Trumpgate.
Richard Nixon might try to pardon himself. So the Department of Justice Office of Legal Counsel, OLC, issued a legal opinion. And it's short, and frankly, it's largely unsupported, but I want to read it to you. August 5th, 1974, the DOJ OLC issued the following opinion, quote, under the fundamental rule that no one may be a judge in his own case, the president cannot pardon himself, close quote. Signed by Mary C. Lawton, Acting Assistant Attorney General, Office of Legal Counsel. Short, sweet, to the point, unsupported by any case law. I'm going to talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, the issue of whether a president can pardon himself, or herself if we ever get there, let's hope we get there,
Yes.
has never been taken up by a court, not a trial court, not a federal circuit court of appeals, not the Supreme Court. There is no legal precedent answering the question, can a criminal president lawfully, constitutionally pardon himself? You know what that means? That means after Donald Trump pardons himself, we get to take a maiden legal voyage. The very word precedent conjures up the notion of doing something for the first time. A court deciding an issue for the first time. A novel legal issue that judges get to wrestle with and answer for the American people, for the Constitution, for our democracy. A maiden legal voyage. I'm not going to start with the war stories now, folks, but I took plenty of maiden legal voyages in my 30 years arguing cases in court. Sometimes I won, sometimes I lost. When I won in the trial court and when I won on appeal, we made a little law. Like we did in the District of Columbia. In the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, when they adopted the urban warfare theory of homicide liability in Washington, D.C. We took a maiden legal voyage and we made some law. That's what we're going to need to do on the presidential self-pardon front. And we will. I'm confident we will. So why would the courts, I'm just going to cut right to the chase and go to the Supreme Court, the ultimate authority on what is constitutional or what is not constitutional. Why would the court strike down a presidential self-pardon? Simply put, to save our democracy. Let's use a hypothetical. Let's assume that Donald Trump steals all the money from the U.S. Treasury, all of our tax dollars that we have dutifully given to the federal government. He steals it all. And then he pardons himself. And he rides off into the sunset. And the Department of Justice charges him with any number of crimes, but in essence, theft of our tax dollars, and they take him to court. And he holds up a presidential pardon, self-pardon. Says, I can't be tried. Got this nifty pardon here that I granted myself. Folks, you don't need to be a lawyer. Do you really think the Supreme Court would put its stamp of approval? Let us stamp that constitutional. Come on. What would the court be doing if they upheld the legality, the constitutionality of a presidential self-pardon in that scenario? Well, one thing they would be doing is they would truly be putting the president above the law and beyond the reach of the courts. The judiciary, one of the three co-equal branches of government, would be neutering itself, would be relegating itself to a second-class branch of government because the president can pardon all his corrupt cronies, can pardon himself, and they get to steal everything from us. And the Supreme Court is going to stamp that constitutional? Not a chance.
Yep.
And you know why I can say not a chance? Not because the Supreme Court has ever decided this issue before, because it hasn't.
Please hit the like button.
Decided a somewhat related issue. In July, when Donald Trump's lawyers went before the Supreme Court and said, the president is above the law. He does not have to comply with subpoenas or with the criminal process. You can't see his tax returns. He's above the law. He's immune, absolutely immune, completely immune.
Yeah, how did
from
that
all of
even?
it.
How
You
he?
can't touch him, Supreme Court justices. If the Supreme Court wanted to put Donald Trump above the law and beyond the reach of the courts, July was the perfect opportunity to do it, because that's what his attorneys argued. And we all know what the Supreme Court did, including Donald Trump's own two draft picks, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, before Amy Coney Barrett was on the bench. He said, you're not above the law.
You are but a mere mortal. You're subject to the law like everyone else. So get back into that court in New York, and they're going to get their hands on your tax returns. It's kind of where we've ended up in that litigation. The courts will not approve of a presidential pardon which would put the president above the law and beyond the reach of the courts. I'm sure of it. Why else is it important for
Speed it up. Come on
the
now.
Department of Justice to challenge a presidential self-pardon? And challenging it is easy. The president writes out a little pardon, probably in Sharpie. I, Donald Trump, hereby pardon Donald Trump for everything he's ever done. It's coming.
It's coming.
3 or 4 days left, but it's coming.
It definitely is coming.
Another reason that the Department of Justice must challenge.
Because that guy we talked about last night.
And then you litigate.
Yeah, it's coming.
The constitutionality of a self-pardon. The challenge is easy. And goodness knows we have lots of crimes to choose from. We're going to be having those conversations in future videos, future closing arguments. When they charge him and he goes into court, that's when we get to litigate, first in a trial court, then in the appellate court, then in the Supreme Court, the constitutionality of a presidential
Jack
self-pardon.
Smith.
But if we don't, if we let Donald Trump pardon himself for all of his crimes, from the campaign finance crimes and the conspiracy to violate campaign finance laws with Michael Cohen, right, to try to gain unfair advantage in the 2016 presidential election, to the 10 counts of felony obstruction of justice meticulously documented by Bob Mueller in Volume 2 of the Trump-Russia report, to his bribery and extortion of President Zelensky, to his witness tampering of Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch and others, to his obstruction of congressional inquiries by telling Congress the executive branch officials will not comply with your lawfully issued subpoenas, to tax fraud, banking fraud, insurance fraud. You know, there's graft, there's grift, there's emoluments. Emoluments are probably not criminally chargeable. And then there's hundreds of thousands of coronavirus deaths, which, take it from this old homicide prosecutor, can easily be shown to be a low level of homicide, neg hom, or involuntary manslaughter, depending on the jurisdiction, basically in a criminally reckless manner. He did some things or failed to do some things that were reasonably likely to result in death or serious bodily injury to others, and boy, did it result in death or serious bodily injury to others. And both the federal government and all 50 states need to hold him accountable for what he did to the American people on the coronavirus front, but I digress. The reason the Department of Justice must challenge a presidential self-pardon is because if they don't, it will become part of the fabric of America that a president gets to pardon himself for all crimes while in office. If we don't challenge a presidential self-pardon, what will the implications be? Well, first of all, every future president will know he or she can commit all the crimes they want and issue themselves a pardon on the last day, and our democracy is darn near dead. That's what I would call an atmospheric precedent that we would set by failing to challenge a presidential self-pardon. It's not a legal precedent. We would set an atmospheric precedent that it was okay. The other thing that will happen if we fail to challenge a presidential self-pardon is Donald Trump will use that as proof positive that he committed no crimes. You can already hear him, can't you? The Department of Justice didn't challenge my self-pardon. They didn't charge me with any crimes. Why? Because I didn't commit any crimes. And frankly, the Department of Justice deciding not to challenge my pardon of myself
is proof that I did nothing wrong. It's proof that everybody who criticized me during the 4 years I was president was engaged in a witch hunt, a political vendetta. They were trying to hold me down because I was winning so much. I was making America so great. And he will take the fact that the Department of Justice decided not to prosecute him, not to challenge his self-pardon as a complete exoneration.
Yeah, something's going on with my
And
system.
even more, folks, even more.
But how's that coming through?
If
I'm
the
getting an
Department of
error.
Justice fails
Hold on, let me get over
to
here.
challenge a presidential self-pardon, that is as good
As gone. Good. We know it's in play. Y'all are planning ahead. Ceasefire. Let's. Oh. So I am getting errors. I'm getting errors. Oh, that's why my number. Okay. Are y'all systems working? On all my devices, I'm getting this. I'm getting that on all my devices. Hold on. I guess I shouldn't have cut him off and tried to fix. Y'all, can y'all hear me? Y'all still here?
pictures, people coming home, being united with their loved ones, the last 20 Israelis, military-age males, Palestinians who
people are reunited with their loved ones after years in captivity. But what next for Trump's peace plan?
Well, see, now you can be a little bit nicer, baby, because you're not at war anymore, baby.
Baby.
Will Tony Blair become governor of Gaza? Or will Netanyahu just resume his bombardment? Joining me to discuss this is former Israeli negotiator Daniel Levy. Great to meet you.
Good to be with you.
Beyond this exchange of people in captivity, has anything actually been agreed about what's going to happen next?
So that's the thing, and let's start as you did, like huge relief, deeply emotional pictures, people coming home, being united with their loved ones, the last 20 Israelis, military-age male, bombed, displaced, starved, things not being enjoyed. And that's as far as it goes in terms of what they've managed to agree on detail, other than getting the aid in. Also hugely crucial, but that still apparently will have an envelope of Israeli oversight.
Tony Blair, he was in Sharm el-Sheikh for this summit with Trump, and he's being touted as a governor of Gaza. What do you make of all that?
More than a century after the Balfour Declaration, you kind of do a Scrabble word remix. You throw the letters of Balfour up in the air, you add one, and you get Blair as the next governor. I think it shows how divorced from any interest in Palestinians this whole thing is. B, I would say how unrealistic it is. If those who were at that Sharm summit with Trump were being at all honest, they would have told him, really bad idea, Mr. President. Not going to play well with our publics, with us. And I think it's just indicative of the dystopian reality we all live in. Palestine has, in this last period, been Exhibit A in the absurdities around the inequities of our lives today. Blair is a doubling down on that.
And when you were an Israeli negotiator in the 1990s during the Oslo peace process, Yasser Arafat actually made huge concessions. Now, today, the Palestinians are in an even weaker bargaining position. Do you think they can get anything much out of these negotiations? Can they get Israel to really fully withdraw from Gaza?
The power dynamics that you refer to, Palestinians then made significant concessions, which didn't bode well for them. What about now? On the one hand, that power asymmetry has been exacerbated. Palestinian national movement largely collapsed.
Go back to Clinton. It goes back further.
Where it is. There's a flip side to that. The flip side to that is Israel seems to be a lot more exposed in terms of the layers of BS that people have peeled off over the last 2 years. And so those who are pushing for accountability, trying to get their governments to act, I don't think are going to say, oh, great, fair enough, this is done now, we're going home, we can roll up that flag. So I think the potential Israeli vulnerability from outside pressure is there in ways that it wasn't, but that won't happen automatically. That's going to be a long, hard slog.
Throughout the genocide, Netanyahu said one of the goals was to defeat Hamas. Hamas had to disarm. And Keir Starmer, when he arrived in Egypt for these talks, said that
worse than that now.
would use its experience from Northern Ireland to help disarm Hamas. But the group have said that they would only hand over their weapons to a future Palestinian army. Is Hamas being unreasonable?
The analogy to Northern Ireland, to the Good Friday Agreement. Good Friday Agreement.
I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me?
It requires legislation.
Oh, you can. Okay. I'm having system issues real bad.
Factions. Sinn Féin is acknowledged as a negotiating partner that you have to bring into the room. And while de facto that's the case with Hamas, still the outside rhetoric is we have to remove them, destroy them, they must have no role. Silliness. The process in Ireland, not finished, it's true, but it was credibly understood by the Irish Catholic community as being a further stage in the rolling back of British colonisation. This paper reads more like an additional stage in the entrenchment of Israeli colonisation, including the governance structure that is on that paper for Gaza, Governor Blair, and all of that stuff. Another thing that you might want to draw attention to is that agreement happens a century and a half approximately after British complicity in the Great Famine in Ireland. This is happening literally the morning after Israel has been conducting what is well documented by a UN Commission of Inquiry and others, what is up before the International Court of Justice as a genocide. You don't go from one to the other. There needs to be accountability in the equation, and none of that is there. The UK is trying to make itself sound useful. Oh, do we have a role? Do we have a role? But it's also an attempt to throw sand in the eyes of the British public, to obfuscate and distract here by saying, okay, we've moved on, we've turned a page, we're all going to be helping move forward, because they want this to go away. And it's up to the British public to make sure it doesn't go away and they don't succeed in throwing sand in our eyes.
One of the things that the British government took credit for, I think it was last month now, was recognising finally...
Okay, so I think it's back working. No, it's not! What is going on? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm go out and come back in. I have no idea what's going on. Everywhere I try to go, it's giving me it's not available. And I just went all the way out on this one. Error occurred. And I don't know if this was because of what it was showing. Let me try another one. Let me try this. Yeah, I'm having system issues. I don't know what this is. Kimberly, did she? Let me see.
Recognising a Palestinian state. But very quickly, Middle East Minister Hamish Falconer.
I mean, just in case y'all think I'm tripping. So let me go all the way out. I'll be back.